Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Spot Show Podcast, an independent wrestling podcast with a few pit stops along the way. We seem to have forgotten that we are a wrestling podcast. So I think that we finally rectify that and we finally talk a little bit about wrestling. But I will say this, of course, my name is Jim Minton, Dickie Wabash, and I am joined by the one-legged wonder, Michael Madrox. After what I saw on Monday, I don't know if I ever want to talk about wrestling ever again.
Do you still want to be in the wrestling business?
It's not a do I still want to be in the wrestling business? Because, of course, I do. And I'm not not burying the lead here. We're going to get into it. We're, of course, going to give our thoughts and our reviews of this previous Monday Night Raw. And I know what you're thinking right now. It's like, but Dickie, you guys typically don't cover modern reviews. If you're going to review anything, it's usually old stuff. I am going to say this, and I feel maybe it's just my news feed. Maybe it's just what I have cultivated, because we know how the algorithm favors itself and caters itself to what you like and what you don't like sometimes. I am going to make a claim that this episode of Raw that we are going to be kind of breaking down a little bit here today might be one of the most divisive episodes of Raw I have ever seen. And I don't even know if it's divisive because, brother, I'm seeing a lot of people that did not like this Raw.
This Raw was the most WCW episode of Monday Night Raw I have ever seen.
And when you say WCW, I'm assuming you mean 2000s WCW.
Oh, yeah. Vince Russo just stayed back in JCW.
Oh, man. So I was going to be like, but did we like it? You can probably figure out that it's not that we didn't like it. It's just that we have a lot that we have kind of been stewing on, because as a lot of you remember, we had a discussion a few podcasts ago about how it's becoming almost a luxury to get to watch wrestling, and like the hoops that you have to jump through in order to watch wrestling. And I remember saying to you, is it even worth it? Like, do I want to jump through these hoops to even get to watch wrestling?
9 different streaming services, cable TV. It's like ridiculous.
And that can almost be forgiven. That can almost be justified.
It could be forgiven for one thing. If
is
I hear it for $9.99.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. That's kind of where I was going with this too. But what I'm getting at here is that it would almost be justifiable if the product was good. And
let's get it straight. It's not as bad as like WCW wrestling quality.
We're of course being facetious when we say that.
Yeah, there's stories, and whatever this whole collaboration was, just shit the bed.
Yeah, here's where we gotta be. Because, so here's what was weird about that collaboration to me, right? Is that we have seen collaborations in wrestling in the past. They've happened all the time. They've absolutely happened all the time. But this one made no sense to me. It was just simply Stranger Things. There was no cast members. I'm going to disagree with you. There was effort. There 100% was effort, but it felt so ham-handed and forced. Because, like, listen, there are people that have been complaining a lot about the product placement that we've been getting in WWE with the canvas, with the sponsorships, with all of that.
Yes.
And I was one of the people from the very beginning that said this. I was fine with it. You have to do that stuff. You have to do that stuff in order to make revenue. Now, I understand WWE's profit margins are so high right now, and they're so this and they're so that. Yeah, but when you're talking about TKO and Endeavor being like billions of dollars corporations, you got to have other ways of making ad revenue. You can't just rely on ticket sales.
Yes.
Where my problem is really coming into this, and this is probably going to be a left turn that I don't think anybody would see coming necessarily, and this is just my opinion, and people have had this opinion, and I've looked at it and I've been like, you're just being a hater. You're just being a hater for the sake of being a hater. However, I'm just going to say this. Vince wouldn't let all of that happen.
Yeah, Vince wouldn't.
Not that bad. I mean, Vince did his product placement and Vince did all of his stuff like that. And look, let me get this out of the way right now. Vince McMahon disclaimer. Allegedly terrible human being. Some of the stuff that he's accused of, some of the stuff that he's being investigated for. So I was like, terrible, awful stuff. Shouldn't have done what he was doing. I got a wild hair up my ass and I decided, and I don't know what made me think this, I want to rewatch the McMahon documentary. So I did. And I've been watching it over the last like couple of weeks or so. I'll throw on an episode, let it play in the background. And just looking at that documentary and being able to look back at how WWE was, and they talk about like the growth of the WWE. Yeah, Vince knew what he was doing. And people loved to say, oh, he was an out of touch old man. He was all this, all that. What Vince was good at was at least making the product accessible for everyone.
For what, 4 or 5 generations?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, with Vince, you weren't paying a year's salary for WrestleMania front row tickets. You just weren't.
No.
So to bring it back, that's what I'm saying here, is that they are charging so much money for these tickets, and then they still are getting all of this ridiculous advertising money, that it's like, this is the first time, and I'm not going to like try to be bleeding heart about this, but this is the first time that I've ever looked at WWE and been like, yes, it's a cash grab.
That's what do you think it comes down to? Because like when Vince was running it, it was more of a passion project for Vince. And now that these conglomerations are running it, all they're seeing is that dollar sign.
And I understand business. You have to see that dollar sign. I understand it, but there could be a little bit more nuance to it. And it just, to me, it feels like nuance is out the window. They are just being so blatant. They are being so ham-handed with it. I'm not saying that I have a problem with a collaboration of, this is Stranger Things Raw, but it's like, what made that special?
I feel like it could have been better if they didn't do it on the season premiere, for one. And we'll discuss it, but I was not a big fan of the whole collab at all.
Well, we're mostly talking about the collab, but we need to talk about the actual matches that were taking place as well, and we're going to get to that. But like I said, the collaboration to me just felt so nonsensical. It was just, there was no nuance. It was so gratuitous. And I'm not sitting here, old man yells at clouds. I'm okay with a crossover. I'm okay with it, but make it make sense. This made no sense. Made no sense.
The Miz Zombie Lumberjack match made more sense as a collaboration than this whole episode.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. I will 100% give you that one. But I'll tell you what I'm going to give everyone else right now. A reminder that this is, of course, the Spot Show podcast. Each and every week, Michael Madrox and I get together and we talk about the wacky world of professional wrestling and everything in between. If you like what we're doing here, you can, of course, go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. There, you are going to get all of our shows early and ad-free, and you're helping keep the microphones on and the envelopes full. But there's free ways that you can support us as well. You can go to madbashstudios.com. There you'll find links to all of our social media. Please go to the social media. Give us some likes. Give us some subscribes. Give us some reviews. Give us all of that because you're helping grow the small business. You know what I mean? Everyone talks about the small business. Hey, we're right here, man. We are right here. And what better way to be a small business than to complain about the big business.
Big business.
And, you know, we're talking about sponsorships. I mean, yeah, this episode, of course, is brought to you by Venom Energy. I get that. But this isn't going to be one of those things of where it's like, this is Venom Raw. This is whatever Raw. It's like, yeah, we'll take care of our sponsors and all that. But it just, I don't know. You're not going to see me plugged into the background of something just casually drinking a drink, you know, like with like the Scoops Ahoy truck and the all this other stuff that they did. It was just, oh my God. Stupid. So where do you want to take this? Do you want to keep, because you just said that, I'm going to give you a spoiler, I didn't like the collaboration and the crossover. Do you want to get into like what your frustrations were with the crossover, or do you want to like jump into like the show itself and the wrestling and whatnot?
I want to go into my issues with the collaboration because I think that's my main issue with the show.
Mine as well. I'm going to disagree with you. I think my main complaint was the wrestling itself. So that's where we're going to have a little dichotomy here, but go ahead.
It just felt so flat and so underwhelming. Like they didn't even afford a cast member to come sit in the crowd. Like they had all this time, they've been hyping it, and we have a perfect superstar on the roster who could play an upside down character in Demon Balor, and they do nothing with it.
I have two
Not
thoughts
a damn
here.
thing. They have Corey Graves come out in a Hellfire Club shirt. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a sponsor.
I don't think it's that. Okay, so that's where it makes no sense, is that it's like, it's not a matter of that they couldn't afford a cast member. It's like Netflix should have gone and been like, hey, listen, motherfuckers, like we are the reason that you guys have jobs. So, you know, and I mean,
you're going to come sit in this front row for 3 hours and act entertained.
I mean, granted, like Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, they're not going to go. I mean, they're stars in their own right. But I mean, what the hell is the fucking kid that plays Dustin doing? What the hell's he doing on a Monday night? Send him there.
Broadway. He's doing Broadway.
Is that a shoot?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
But anyway, like they could have like done something. That's a big cast. Like just to have one person show up or even a video package.
The only so
it felt like the Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley Kiss Thunder God appearance on Nitro.
Oh, wow. That's more, you know, that's actually more that's more real than I would probably be willing to admit. That's probably more valid than I would be willing to admit on that one. I do want to say this one thing right here, and this is where Smart Mark Dickie comes out for a minute. And this is where Finn Balor fan Dickie comes out. We have not seen the Demon since WrestleMania when he wrestled Edge in the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have lessened the Demon to have him come out as like this big stranger? Like, it would have taken away the gravity of the Demon, no?
It kind of would, but at the same time, like, WWE's looking for that nostalgia pop. What better way to do it than with the Demon?
How were they looking for a nostalgia pop?
And they got CM Punk as the world champion.
Oh, I have a feeling I know where you're going with that. Look, I'm going to say this. We aren't the target demographic anymore. This is an episode of Raw that I'm watching it and I fully realized this isn't my WWE anymore. This isn't my WWE anymore. And I'm not trying to gatekeep, and I'm not trying to be like a hipster. I'm not trying to do anything like that. It's time to move on for me. I'm going to tell you a story. There was this guy that I was friends with. Don't know why I was friends with him. He was a very negative human being, and it ties into what I'm saying here. He and I were both big fans of Dragon Ball Z and the whole Dragon Ball franchise and all of that. And when Dragon Ball Super came out, he was just complaining about everything that they were doing with it. But he was still watching it. And it's just like at a certain point, when do you just stop being a fan? Like, I'm not saying to blindly like something if you don't like it, even though you have this tenure with it of being a fan. I've been a WWE fan for the majority of my life. For going on 30 years, I've been a WWE fan. Maybe 2025, 2026 WWE just isn't for me anymore. Maybe it was the more of the ruthless aggression era was for me. Maybe the PG era was just more for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not going to sit here and it's an elective to watch this. Like, why am I going to watch it if I'm not enjoying it? I can enjoy it from afar. I don't need to watch every week. If there's something that's buzzworthy, like a nice match I want to check out or something, like, you know, we're getting AJ and Gunther. Yeah, I'm going to watch the shit out of that. I want to watch that. But the rest of it, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I will just admit I'm not a fan anymore. I was a fan. And that's why I bring up this guy in this analogy, is that he would sit there saying that he was a fan. I'm a fan. I like the franchise. It's like, no, you don't, because you're shitting on everything that the franchise is doing. I'm not saying blindly follow. I'm just saying, like, stop calling yourself a fan of what's currently going on, because you're clearly not. And that's where we're at. Just not a fan of the current stuff. And that's fine.
That's completely fine. Like, WWE comes in different staples. So, like, maybe it's not good for this 6 months. Maybe it's going to pick up. Who knows? But currently, I am checked out.
Me too. When did it click for you that you were officially done?
Seeing a Stranger Things collab with Michael Cole coming out in a suit.
But was there, I mean, that's the funny answer, but like, was there because this is something I've been struggling with for a bit. Like,
the fact that I haven't watched wrestling since WrestleMania and I'm completely content with my life, that gives me a good sign I'm checked out.
Yeah. Really big peek behind the curtain, because, you know, we were doing the PLE draft, and what if I told everyone that Michael Madrox probably had no fucking earthly clue who half the people on his team were? He just heard names.
No, I knew everybody on my team, brother.
Oh, bullshit. But that's the thing. And I know people were disappointed. A few people were disappointed that we stopped the PLE draft. I'm just not, no. Like, in order to watch these shows, it's going to cost me a shitload of money. And I don't want to keep up with that. I'm on Netflix. I'll watch what's on Netflix. They just uploaded the entire PLE library. I'm content with my past. I will say that right now. I am content with watching up to a certain point. Now, if only they would add all the episodes of Raw, because the way they have Raw uploaded on there makes not a goddamn lick of sense, and I can't figure that out. It's just irritating.
The pick and choose era, brother.
It's the pick and choose era. I mean, there's years that are missing from like 01 to 22. There's like 20 years of Raw missing. I don't know. I will say that's what, like, you don't know what you got till it's gone, brother. You don't know what you got till it's gone, because we really took network for granted. And then when it went to Peacock, yeah, it was a little bit annoying, but I fucked with Peacock. Yeah, it cost a little bit more, but I was okay with that because I was getting other stuff besides WWE.
Yeah.
And that's how I justified it in my head.
You get a little variety.
This stuff I can't justify. I have in my notes a thought that makes sense in my head, and I'm hoping that we can kind of maneuver our way through this thought and make it make sense.
Let's hear it, brother.
So I wrote down, Triple H wants to be Mr. McMahon. Now remember, there's a difference between Vince and Mr. Triple H wants to be Mr. McMahon, but behind the scenes. A character that's actually running things.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. He wants to take all the accomplishments like they're his own, and then if something goes bad, he wants to push it off on the fans.
See, I mean it more in the sense of, and you could very well be right on that. I mean it more in the sense of he wants to be in the middle of everything. Meaning that, yeah, maybe he does want the attention on him. And the reason I make the Mr. McMahon comparison is that because so many people will tell you, like, yeah, Mr. McMahon, because, yeah, there is very much a difference. Mr. McMahon was one of the driving forces of the Attitude Era, and his character on TV was pretty pivotal in the way that the story was going. And for that, I will absolutely agree with. Triple H wants that, but strictly from a behind-the-scenes standpoint. He wants it to be, I'm the reason that all this is happening. This is very important. And all of this stuff is important because of the decisions that I've made.
Triple H has taken it to a more political ground.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like he's acting, instead of like an owner of a company, he's acting more like a mayor, a governor, a state representative.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, he's not the owner. He's just in charge of creative. Yeah, but I know what you mean. Yeah, wow. That's actually,
I think that's what sets off Triple H and Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, I will agree with you, because to take it away from Mr. McMahon and to talk about Vince McMahon never made the focus about him. He made the focus about the wrestling. And one can say that Triple H like is putting a focus on the wrestling and all that, but it's like, who's got to be the face of everything when it happens? Who was the first person we saw whenever Raw debuted on Netflix? Who was the first person to come down to congratulate Cody? Who was the first person to be ringside and hug John Cena? Like it's stuff like that. Like he's got to have his nose in it. Oliver said that Triple H
nose.
Yeah, that wasn't meant to be a Triple H nose joke. That was just completely by happenstance. Oliver said that he feels as though Triple H is trying to be like how Dana White is to the UFC. And I agree with him.
Yes.
I agree with him.
But where's that put Nick Khan, though? Because Nick Khan is very much the Dana White to the UFC and the WWE.
Because Nick Khan is the actual motherfucker in charge. And he's doing it the way that it should be. He sits at the fucking guardrail, and he watches the show with his with his son. I'm going to make a claim right now that is the hottest of takes. It is a scorching take. I would say Tony Khan, not Nick Khan, Tony Khan has a better on-screen presence for his product than Triple H does.
Oof.
Because whenever Tony Khan is out there, at least he's not trying to make it about him. He's an idiot sometimes, yes. However, he's
9 times out of 10, it's after a show.
Yes. Thank you. Exactly. And he's not front and center on the camera. But Dickie, you talked about how good Vince was. He was always on camera. He was playing a character, though. Vince was out there as an on-screen character. Triple H, Paul Levesque, is not doing an on-screen character. He's just going out there as a guy that booked all of this. Because he wants I look at me, motherfuckers. I booked all.
Bask in the glory.
I don't know. What do you think?
I told you what I feel. I feel like Triple H is taking a more of a political standpoint. He's taking a more Lyndon McMahon over Vince McMahon.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that, because it then reminded me of my thought that I had of he really, because like whenever you say politician, we are, as being in the wrestling business, we are conditioned to think about politicking.
Yes.
He's backstage politicking to get this spot, to get this done. But no, now that you say that, it's like really one of the best ways I've heard Triple H described is that he's doing it like a politician. Buzzwords, talking in buzzwords, doing all of this, being out there front and center like a politician. I could not say it better myself.
He's doing it harder than Glenn Jacobs ever did. Let's just throw that out there.
I saw a picture the other day. It was someone was in Walmart and bumped into Kane. Oh, did you see it too?
Yeah.
That's so funny. That is so funny. Like to just see normal, everyday, standard guy, Glenn Jacobs.
That's how I know Glenn.
Yeah, the old Mayor Glenn, brother. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, it's just, that's what I feel like, is that Triple H is just doing this in such a way. And how, here's a good discussion. When did it go wrong, do you think? Because we came on here, we are documented as being on here singing the praises of Triple H. When did it go wrong?
I feel after the sell, he changed everything up. Because when he was running NXT in the first few shows without Vince, you could tell that it was more gritty professional wrestling booking. And then after the sale, it seems like he just became a yes man.
Well, I don't know. I mean, because like even after the sale is when all the good shit happened. That's whenever Cody finished his story. That's whenever we had WrestleMania 41, which was a really good, WrestleMania 40 rather.
Which Vince still had his finger in.
Did he?
Did you not see the text messages leaked about WrestleMania 40?
No. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But even then, like you look at that SummerSlam that Triple H booked. It was the first SummerSlam that he booked. That was a good SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That was the 22 SummerSlam, 23 SummerSlam? No, 23. 23 SummerSlam. Yeah, whenever Brock tipped the ring. Actually, when was that? Brock versus Roman SummerSlam. That was 22. That was in 22. Yeah, that does not seem like that long ago.
No.
Oh my God. Then we had
that was the first Vince scandal.
Yes. I don't think it had come out yet, had it? No. No, because here's what happened. Vince retired. Oh, well, here it is right here. It says this was the first and only SummerSlam to not be held. Sorry. This was also the first WWE pay-per-view and live streaming event following the retirement of WWE owner Vince McMahon, who served as chairman and executive vice president, blah, blah, blah. Vince McMahon announced his retirement on July 22nd, 8 days before SummerSlam. However, he returned as executive chairman on January 10th, 2023, before severing ties with the company in 2024. So here's what I'm going to say to you, because the sale took place between that time period. Not saying that Vince is the reason for it, but it seems to be that around the time Vince severed his ties with the company, that's around the time that I think the wheels really started to come off. Yeah, because Endeavor bought WWE in 23, and I would argue that we still had a couple of good years. In March of 24, Vince McMahon sold all of his stocks, and he resigned. Yeah, so Vince left in March of 24, so right before WrestleMania, with the whenever Cena was heel. So, or no, sorry, I'm getting years mixed up here. But yeah, so WrestleMania, I would say after Cody finished the story, I think is when the wheels really started to fall off. I would say that wholeheartedly. I don't know,
blame
man.
Jey Uso.
But that's the other thing too, is that don't get me started on how bad Jey Uso is. I mean, this isn't about Jey Uso, brother. We've talked about how awful we think Jey Uso is, but Jey Uso is going to tie into a point that I'm going to make about another title change that took place, and we're going to get into that point after we hear a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Venom Energy. Hey, we've all been there, and there's nothing wrong with admitting to it. Well, what I mean is that we've all hit that midday slump, and we all need a little push to get us through the rest of the day. Well, what better option to give you a pick-me-up than one of the wonderful flavors of Venom Energy? Venom is what gets MadBash through those long show days, and we know that it can do the same for you. I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit for you, too. Yeah, come to our merch table when you see us at a show, and with the purchase of a MadBash Wrestling sticker or magnet, you get a Venom Energy drink on us. While supplies last, of course, so you better act quick. We'd like to thank Venom again for sponsoring this episode. Please consume responsibly. Not recommended for children under 18, pregnant or nursing women, or people sensitive to caffeine. What sense does it make? And this is just me spitballing here and just kind of splitting hairs is what I'm doing here. The Usos came out to Jey Uso's theme, which is, it's just me, Us. It's not just you anymore. You got your brother back with you because you couldn't hack it as a singles wrestler. And so now we got to put the fucking tax. I don't want to get into a Jey Uso rant. I don't like Jey Uso. I don't like Jey Uso. And anybody who says that Jey Uso is their favorite wrestler, they only just started watching wrestling when it became cool. That's all it is. That's all.
My thing is with Jey is like, how many times do you publicly got to fuck up before they're like, all right, we're going to switch it?
Every promoter has a guy that no matter what, they insist on putting over, even if they're not worth it. And one of the dumbest things I think they did with Jey Uso was they gave him the ball as a test to see if he was ready. No, you don't give someone a championship as a test. You let them prove themselves, then you give them the belt. Stupid.
Which I thought was really crazy, especially in the behind the scenes little docuseries. They're like, well, he's getting blown up out there, so do we just pull it from him or just see what happens after he gets the strap?
No, I say
Pull
that
it
we
fucking
keep
from
it.
him.
Yeah,
Pull it fucking from him.
everyone in that meeting said Punk. Everyone in that meeting said Punk. And in my opinion, that first season of Unreal proves my goddamn point that Jey Uso is the shits. No one wanted him.
No one.
No one. Speaking of
Still
Jey
don't.
Usos, still don't want him. Do you know who the new Jey Uso is? The female Jey Uso?
Becky Lynch.
No, Maxine
No.
Dupree.
Oh yeah.
I think Maxine Dupree is the female Jey Uso.
What do you say that?
She won the belt to get a reaction, and then she goes out there and is completely shitting the bed. And I'm going to give you an example of her shitting the bed.
Okay.
The finish of that match, and I don't think this was her shitting the bed. I just think this was bad booking. The finish of the match is supposed to be she's so caught up in having this hold on Becky Lynch that she doesn't even notice that the ref is counting to 3. In theory, that's what's supposed to happen. But meanwhile, she's looking right at the fucking referee as the referee is counting 3. And then she gets up and she's like, oh my God, I lost. Is that
That's shitting the bed. That's shitting the bed.
Is that frustrating only because we know what we're looking at, or is it frustrating?
I think for a casual fan, like shit like that slips their mind, but for like us, we notice that shit.
I would be curious because you hear this phrase all the time: casual fan, casual fan, casual fan. What's the ratio, I wonder, of these casual fans versus the people that are really in the know? I'm just saying.
Well, that's a good question.
Because who's the target audience? It's obviously the casuals are going to be your target audience because the whole idea is that you want to keep them, you want to hook them in, you want
to turn them into the diehards.
Yes. And the problem is people who are just like that guy I was talking about are going to complain about this stuff and complain about how bad it is, but they're still going to support the product.
Oh, hands down.
Every single person, and this is going down a road that I didn't think it would really go down. Every single person that is going to complain about Royal Rumble in Saudi or
is going to watch it.
WrestleMania in Saudi, they're going to watch it. They're going to watch it. And what they did in that moment was they knew, they were like, hey, people are kind of turning on Becky here. People are kind of, so we got to get the belt. We'll pop a reaction by her beating Maxine Dupree. How about instead of doing that, you change up Becky fucking Lynch and maybe realize that she shouldn't be in the spot that she's in?
See, I have a different take on that.
Go on.
I feel like Maxine's championship was just a placeholder.
Yes, it was. That's I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. Is that instead of making it a placeholder, why didn't we pull the trigger on somebody else? Granted, because she didn't deserve it. However, no, I will say though, I do like the character work that Lynch has been doing lately. She's basically Trump, is what her character is. Like, she has turned into Trump. Like her verbiage, the way that she says things, the way that she tweets things, the way that she types things. She's doing a Donald Trump character. And I love it. I think it's great. I think, though, it's very clear to me what they're going to build to. She's probably going to be, it's going to be her and AJ Lee. And that match is not going to be good.
No.
I've said this about AJ Lee from the very beginning.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Out of the 4 original horsewomen, can you name the one person that's never been accused of sabotaging matches?
I think they all have. at some point. I wouldn't say necessarily just sabotaging matches, but I think that they've all been problematic in some way. I think the least egregious offender though is Bayley.
Yes.
Because Bayley and Sasha pulled that shit at WrestleMania whenever they dropped the belts to the Iconics. But if you also look at like all of the other horsemen have done, I mean, Charlotte has clearly, blatantly was sandbagging Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch, I think, purposefully botched a couple of things in that match to make Maxine look bad. And then Sasha Banks, I got nothing for Sasha Banks. I think she's just problematic to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Or
she's
sorry,
piercing.
Mercedes.
She's piercing through the women's division over there in AEW.
Yeah, shout out to Aaron Atlas for that, by the way. Dude, it was so funny when I saw that because it was so clearly him doing that Aaron Atlas face that he does, that smirk that he does, just holding two women's belts. So funny. I don't know, man. I think Becky, I think the women's division has passed her up. My opinion. I'm going to tell you who the best in the women's division are right now. Stephanie Vicaire, who's the best. Stephanie Vicaire is the best women's wrestler on the main roster right now. My opinion. Hands down.
Could agree.
Then you have Kairi, Asuka, and Io. They're all incredible. I would put Io a very close second behind Stephanie Vicaire. And then Rhea Ripley is up there. But even then, I think her act is starting to run a little bit stale.
It's getting repetitive.
Yes. No, go on.
I was just gonna say, I forgot now.
Cool.
Cut me off with a silence. I feel the same way about Damian Priest. Like I caught SmackDown. I don't know if you did or not.
I don't have cable, brother. I'm all streaming.
But Damian Priest made an ambulance match one of the most boringest things I've ever seen in my life.
Damian Priest is boring. I'm sorry. He just is. I've never seen anything from Damian Priest that I've liked. His Money in the Bank cash-in was cool. But other than that, he's boring.
He's still. How do you feel about them talking about repackaging LA Knight?
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to repackage him to?
They're supposed to be same voice, same character, just a new look.
Okay, then maybe that'll help. I mean, he's already over. The problem is they just didn't pull the trigger on him when they needed to.
Which is a common thing in this Triple H run.
That's very much, and it all comes back to Trips, because I think that
he's gun shy.
He's gun shy about pulling the trigger on people. Yeah, I will agree with you on that one. I think that if Drew McIntyre doesn't win this 3 Stages of Hell match, that's one of the dumbest decisions they could make.
And speaking of gun shy, I want to talk about this one because, God, was it awful. CM Punk versus Braun Breaker. We're
going to get to Punk and Breaker because I got thoughts on that as well. But before we get into that a little bit too much, I wanted to also kind of talk about this. I wanted to continue the conversation we were having because, trust me, we're going to get to Punk and Breaker.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that because my point that I'm making here is that this the women's roster currently, I do feel like, has passed by Becky Lynch. I think that she has changed her act a little bit. I will give her that, but it's still the same thing though. I think that she is right where she needs to be in the mid card. And I'm sorry, but Maxine Dupree does not need to even be in the mid card yet. She still needs a little bit of work. Send her back to NXT. But talking about NXT, my boy, Obafemi, he's getting
I
called
thought
up.
you were going to say Javon Evans.
No, and that was stupid too, the way they did that. They just fucking wasted that. But anyway, no, and then my other hot take that I know our group chat does not agree with, I think Gunther is the best act in WWE right now. No, Gunther is the best act
His
WWE
sleeper's getting
right
stale on me, man.
Nope.
Yep. It's getting stale on me.
Gunther is the best act in the WWE right now, and I will fight that point. Look at the heat that this man gets.
What is it piped in?
The shit. No, absolutely not. You can fucking tell. He is hated. That motherfucker is hated. And that's exactly what needed to happen. We can talk about if the match was good or bad. I thought it was good. The point is that match made Gunther, and that, knowing the little that we know about, well, not even little, because he's been pretty blatant about the future of wrestling, knowing what we know about John Cena, that's exactly what he wanted. So Gunther is a fucking made man.
At the same time, though, with Gunther, like, he did retire John Cena and Goldberg, like two of the biggest fan favorites ever.
That's what I'm saying.
How quick could this heat turn into X-Pac heat?
No, I don't think Gunther will get X-Pac heat. I don't think he'll get go away heat. I really don't think he will.
I'm just saying it's gonna be a thin line if he keeps up with this retirement story.
But that's starting to show you the difference between these casual fans and the Smart Mark fans, because Gunther, the Smart Marks love Gunther. They just have. But even they're kind of starting to turn on him a little bit, I guess. But I'm standing by it, man. Gunther is the fucking man. Gunther is going to be the man for a while, and they are building that motherfucker up for something huge, and I cannot wait for it.
Love to see it. I mean, look at his world championship reign. I was a big fan of that.
I loved both of them, actually. I loved both of them. I think him dropping to Jey Uso they did it again. They did the same thing. That's what I'm saying. I want to go back to Becky Lynch. It's like, that's where Becky Lynch needs to be, in the mid card with the IC title. They took the IC title off of her to pop a quick reaction, and you can't do quick reactionary stuff in wrestling. It works in the moment, but you got to fucking build towards it. And I think that that's what Triple H has forgotten about.
You got to follow through. If you can't answer what you're doing this week and follow it up with what's going to happen next week, you got a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of pulling triggers, I think there was a massive misfire on this episode of Raw, and you've alluded to it. I'll let you take it from here, Madrox. What do you think of Braun Breaker versus CM Punk?
Oh, you said misfire. I was going to bring up how they had the old Raw logo on the contract for Javon Evans, but that's a different misfire. Boy, you want to talk about how summing up everything Kevin Nash said about CM Punk a couple weeks ago in a match? This match summed everything up for me.
Okay.
I've been a fan of Punk. You know this. Everyone knows this.
Still am. I still am.
Punk's goated.
I want to say this at the very beginning before we get into this discussion. CM Punk is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. He will always be one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Madrox, go ahead.
Punk can't do the shit he was doing 10 years ago.
No. Well, granted, 10 years ago, he was sitting on his couch in Chicago.
Well, yeah, he can't pick up
Let's say more 15 years ago.
Yes. But he can't do that. And he has failed to prove that he can adapt his wrestling style to what his body's capable to do since he's came back.
We would be so much happier as wrestling fans. The world would be great. all of the problems in the world would go away. There would be no more world hunger. There would be world peace. Allegedly. I think there would be anyway. If people could just fucking admit that CM Punk is on a nostalgia run.
Yes.
That's all it is.
And it's been a multi-year run.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but ever since Punk came back, I haven't seen a match of his where I'm like, oh my God, that's a 5-star classic.
The Hell in a Cell with Drew.
Still, though, they had to rely so much on the cell and weapons. You know what I mean?
No, you got to take you.
I'm just talking about in-ring performance.
Yeah, the Hell in a Cell. I mean, you take every facet of his story with Drew, going into the match, doing all of that. I would say that there are 2 matches of CM Punk's that since he's been back in WWE that you cannot miss. You have to watch. The Hell in a Cell with Drew, and then the triple threat match from Mania. Those are my 2. And that's sad because I can name a dozen Gunther matches that you should watch. I could name a dozen fucking Seth Rollins matches that you should watch. I can name a dozen of AJ Styles. I can name 2 dozen AJ Styles matches because AJ Styles doesn't fucking miss anytime he's in the ring. The best match this year, in my opinion, was AJ and Cena. I think that's the match of the year, hands down. Punk is not on match of the year caliber level anymore. He's not. I'm sorry. He's just not. The Punk that we loved from back in the day is not here anymore. And this is where it all ties in and this whole thing all comes full circle. Why are we complaining about something yet saying that we're still fans of it? It is completely fine to admit. It is completely fine to admit that you are not a fan of something currently. You can be a detractor, but still like the stuff from the past. And that's what I'm here to say. Punk in the past can't fucking beat it. One of my favorites. GOAT. He's a GOAT. But you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become mediocre. And I think that's what's happened with Punk.
I compare this Punk run to Macho Man in WCW.
Okay. Elaborate.
All they need to do is plug and play him when needed, but never make him the guy. How they did Savage in like 96, 95. You know what I mean? Like he could bounce around from the mid card to the main event, and then he can go over here and work a tag match and be completely fine. But he doesn't need to be the guy every fucking week because he's getting exposed.
Yeah. Wow. That is so great. That is so great. Is Braun Breaker ready to be the guy?
No. No, he's not. But I would have pulled the trigger and gave it to Braun over this Punk we've been seeing. Because if you're going to do the sink or swim booking,
yeah,
like with Jey Uso, Braun would have thrived in that, I feel.
How different do you think things would be if Seth hadn't got hurt?
I don't think we'd be having this conversation right now.
You know, Punk wouldn't be champion, obviously.
No.
Punk wouldn't be
champion. Braun wouldn't be in the picture.
No. No,
Braun and Bronson would be tag champs at this point. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Braun and Bronson Reed would be tag champs. I could see that. They would be probably feuding with the Usos. They would probably have done that. That's what I think that AJ and Dragon Lee, like, I think they were probably supposed to drop to Braun and Bronson, but they didn't.
With how everything happened.
Yeah.
I feel like the Usos were the last card in the deck, the throwaway. What are we going to do with the tag team division? which makes no sense to me because you guys got like the New Day and the War Raiders who are like levels above as a better tag team than just throwing guys together or having an USO reunion for the
Here's
12,000th time.
here's a question. This just popped in my head.
Okay.
Remember when everyone was like, Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling, Vince doesn't respect tag team wrestling?
Oh, it's staying true at Triple H.
Well, not even that. Do you think that it wasn't Vince? That maybe tag team wrestling just isn't that popular? Throwing that out there.
I mean, that's could be true, but as my personal biased opinion, I love tag team wrestling, so I can't agree with that.
But at a certain point, you got to stop being biased.
Yeah.
You got to be impartial. You got to be objective, not subjective. You know what I mean? I don't know how we got on talking about tag team wrestling, but yeah, no, that's the thing, man. I think that Punk. I'm not saying get rid of Punk, keep Punk. There's a spot in WWE for someone like CM Punk. It's
Yes.
just not as world heavyweight champion. It just isn't.
No. And I mean, no disrespect to him. I mean, I'm comparing him to fucking Macho Man, so he should get a kick out of that one. But
I mean, I'm sitting here right now telling you that Punk is one of the GOATs. But people also call Tom Brady the GOAT. Do you see Tom Brady out there still throwing footballs?
Nope.
Every GOAT has his day. And I think Punk's is over. I really do think that the only reason Punk came back to WWE was to spite AEW. I think that it got a little bit, they were like, oh yeah, we can really do something with this. I just don't think he should be world champion. Sorry. Point blank. I just don't think he should be world champion.
And his wife shouldn't be champion at WrestleMania either, but we know that's coming.
Who would you put the world title on right now? I'm assuming Braun.
No.
Should it have stayed on Gunther?
I feel like it should have came off Gunther for a while because we just had all those long title runs with Gunther and Roman and I mean
Cody,
honestly,
Cody, for all intents and purposes, had a long title run too. He went Mania to Mania.
Yeah. On SmackDown, I would put the title on Drew, and on Raw, I would have it on AJ.
Okay. I was more talking about the world title, not the WWE title, but fair. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Because Punk is not it.
No. And AJ is such a workhorse. Like I would give him that final stretch with the title before Mania, since it's going to be his last Mania.
And he's already admitted it's his last Mania.
Yes.
Man, these retirement tours, man, they're. Do we need them? Like, just bow out, you know? I mean, like, that feels like a cash grab to me. Now, someone like John Cena, yeah, he deserves. Okay, let me backpedal completely about what I was about to say here because at least they're giving them to people that actually deserve them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, if a fucking quintessential mid-carder that's only ever, like, Carlito comes back for his retirement run, it's like, we don't need that. No, we're not going to be having like a cool one last time in Indianapolis or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to be.
Now, hear me out, brother. If Lodi comes back.
Lodi. Oh, my God. But yeah, like, I just don't want, like, Cena's should have been a one-time deal. And then I think that we mention and we acknowledge the fact that, like, yeah, this is AJ's last run. This is Orton's last run. So-and-so's last run. Final thoughts here, Michael Madrox. Where you at on Jericho?
Where is Jericho?
You know what, though? I had a thought as soon as I saw the Raw stage. I was like, Jericho's monumental return to WWE is about to be ruined by this awful stage.
Yeah.
So in a way,
you're glad.
I'm glad they didn't do it.
The word on the sheets right now is that they're tacking on injury time for Jericho, and he's not going to be out of his contract until midsummer now.
Oh, really? How much injury time does he have?
I have no idea. I can't remember Jericho ever being injured.
Yeah, that's... I don't think Jericho... Has Jericho ever taken time off for being? No, because that was like a big point of whenever him and Edge were feuding back in the day. It was, oh, you're always taking time off, and I'd never have taken time off. I've never been hurt. Yeah, that's wow. So, anyways, yeah, guys, that was a discussion, definitely. Here's the thing: if you come to Spot Show for up-to-date wrestling news and up-to-date wrestling opinions, I'm sorry, you're not going to be getting them as much anymore. We are not fans of the current product, and why are we going to subject ourselves to that if we're not fans? This is not to say that we're going to completely poo-poo it and not talk about wrestling at all, because we are a wrestling podcast, but we just aren't going to
go out of our way to dive in.
Yeah, like if we catch something cool and we want to talk about it, like, yeah. What's one good thing that you would take away from this Raw? Let's not be so negative. What's one good thing you would take away?
Let me think on that. Gunther versus AJ.
I don't know. That women's tag match was really good.
I'd sacrifice my daughter's safety to watch that again. I mean, it was decent.
Yeah, it was all. There was a moment whenever Kyrie and Asuka were coming to the ring, and I was like, they might be the coolest people on the WWE roster right now. Just the swagger that it specifically Asuka. Asuka has got just a swagger about her. And
Asuka's in her grandma don't give a fuck phase.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have said it, I will continue to say it. Number 1 and number 2 in the women's roster, in my opinion, is Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky. They switch depending on the day. You know what I mean?
Working that night.
You know what I mean? What do you think, Madrox? Give me your final thoughts on this.
I mean, we discussed the Raw. We discussed our stand on professional wrestling. I would love for WWE to prove me wrong and come back and do better.
They will.
But for the time being, I don't have my hopes up.
Yeah. Wrestling, there have been up periods, down periods, and there always will be up periods and down periods. And like, we're just very clearly in a down period, so we'll see where it takes us.
Enjoy the ride, brother. That's all we can do.
I'd rather get off at the rest stop.
Gotta take that potty break.
I'd rather just get off at this and eat at this Taco Bell that's attached to this gas station here. Go in and get
those are the best Taco Bells.
Aren't they, though? All right, gang, we're going to go ahead and hop off here. Listen, we got some good stuff coming up on Paid Show. Don't know what that stuff is yet, but we'll figure it out. We always do. We always do, brother. The big plug ski. MadBashStudios.com. There you're going to find links to everything where you can support us. The biggest one, though, patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Help support us. Keep the microphones on and the envelopes full. We would very much appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram at DWobs Card Shop. You can find Michael Madrox at the word 1 and then the numbers 900-909-9900. For those of you over on the Patreon, you are about to hear us on Paid Show, but for everybody else, we will see you down the road on some form of content.